Hi friends, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. Today, on today's Sunday gear review, I finally am ready to talk a little bit about this Swampfox Arrowhead 1-10. Big Tech's Ordnance is my go-to source for accessories for all your defensive and competition firearms. They have great holsters with accessories for concealment and ship fast at great prices. I'm a proud customer and recommend them without hesitation. No secret that I am a low-power variable optic fan. Been running one for quite some while. Ran a very expensive one on this rifle for a full year. And then stepped out of that because, I had a lot of people talking to me about that optic. Is a Schmidt-Bender 1.5 to 8 short dot. Go, John, I can't afford that kind of thing, man. How about for normal humans like who have a budget? I hear you. And guess what? I live on a budget too. It's a higher budget than it used to be, but still. So I could never have bought that. I got it because it was sent to me with the rifle. Now, this Swampfox 1-10, the optic itself is green illuminated reticle that you can turn off and is $550 in the 1-10 version, which for a 1-10 optic is pretty amazing. That's cheap. And tipping my hand, I love it. I think it's a great optic. In fact, I don't know that I can tell a difference in the optical quality between this $550 optic and a $2,700 optic. Now I'll put up some pictures here so that you can see kind of what it looked like in bright sunlight, in artificial light, and then only illuminated by my rifle light. And you can see it's got great light gathering. I had no problem seeing through it all the time. And that's really the key for a low power variable optic, for any optic really, but a low power variable optic in particular. How much light does it get in? Now I'd imagine that the high end light, when you got down to real transitional lighting, if you're in that kind of golden hour at the very end of the day or whatever, or in a very low kind of lit situation, okay, fine. But for my use case, I always have bright white light on the rifle. And so kind of the dimmest that I'm going to use is illuminated by my candela. So in those situations, this optic did really well. You can mount a quick throw on this for 1-10. I haven't found that to be particularly necessary. I think that in the middle of engagement, if you need to crank some magnification, you probably have time to do that. If you don't have time to do it, run it like a red dot and just run it with what you have. I also really like the turrets. I think the turrets on this guy are really good. Again, first of all, they pop up, so when they're in the down position, they won't turn, and so they won't walk on you. When they're up, they get good positive clicks. I'm not going to mess with mine right now because it is appropriately set, but here on the illumination reticle, you can feel that it is correct. I also like a little nice feature when you want to have illumination on here. There's an off between each of the illumination features, so you can set it close to what you want instead of having to go from 0 to, say, you like 8. If you like a higher setting, just put it in the off click between those, and then you can click right to it. That's a nice little setting. I think the eye relief is really good. I've got some pictures, again, that you can see that in 1 power, it has good, true 1 power through it, and that's really helpful and really good. I think it runs really true to itself, and I've probably got about 600 rounds through this optic now, full disclosure. Swampfox Mike is a friend of mine, Mike Branson. And so he sent me this optic, right? So I did not pay with my own dollars for it. Swampfox is not a sponsor of Active Self-Protection. But given quality like this, I would welcome them as one. In fact, this is that I would spend my own money on this kind of gear, put it on my compatriots rifles and go from there. So let's shoot it a little bit, make sure that you get to see us actually put some rounds through it. We've got to shoot it a little bit, right? I mean, optical clarity is 100% there. I mean, just it looks like a red dot. Again, if you want to, you could turn on some illumination. Now, I'll say that I wish at some point that they had just the circle illuminated, not the whole thing, but I'm sure that's super difficult in a lot of ways. I don't know that I would use the green illumination on this much, but I like it because it looks like my red dot on my pistol. So I think you could spend more. I think there are other options that you could consider and might consider. But quite frankly, this optic has earned its place on my rifle. It's staying.